It started with me playing drums, and that's my foundation. That's why, if you notice, my tracks are mostly drum driven. It's because I foundation in drums and percussion and shit.
Was there a DJ that influenced you? Was there anybody at that time that caught your ear?
DJing came later. You can turn this mic down, I'm a loud motherfucker. Alright, I fuck with it. Let me see. Check, no. Check, no. Check, no. There we go. Hallelujah, amen. I mean, DJ, we a lot of us come from talking in the headphones as a microphone, so this ain't shit. But back in the early 80s, I guess, when I started going to clubs, it was a DJ in Atlanta named Das Wright, and he did like all of the underground clubs.
Like the gay clubs?
Yeah, he did the gay clubs.
Backstreets.
I mean, but it was underground garage house. It was even like Todd Terry house. It was Frankie Knuckles' house. I mean, it was actually an open format. He was like an open format DJ back in the early days. And watching him, he taught me the foundation of mixing first. Like, even with my son, he's 16 now, he started DJing at 11. I told him, don't be trying to learn how to do all these tricks without learning how to, the foundation of mixing and picking your records, you know, like blending first. So to me, that's what I learned first was, you know, mixing, and then everything else was secondary. So Das Wright was like the man, and then of course, I didn't start talking on the microphone. This is a crazy story. I DJ'd in this club, the Phoenix in Atlanta. It was like the #1 kind of open format club. We played hip hop, we played house, we played classics, dance hall in the early 90s. And one day Kid Capri came and DJ'd, and I had never seen anyone DJ like Kid Capri, where he was on the mic, he was, you know, he was making his own breaks with his voice and shit, and I was like, whoa. So the next day, I didn't even DJ, I just talked on the mic, and that's how I started. So I told Kid this story one day, he was like, whoa, shit, you know, but if it wasn't for Kid Capri, I wouldn't be on the mic while I was DJing, so that's kind of foundation shit.
Do you remember your first DJ gear that you got?
I don't know, some shitty ass bullshit, like you reversed the turn, you reversed the shit and the belt came off and shit. Y'all know that shit, right? That's bullshit. The needle break every day and shit, like scratch the fucking record up, you be pissed the fuck off. I gotta go buy another one of these Eric B. Rakim singles?
Had to buy a direct drive turntable.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have that money back in the early days. And we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We just liked music. I remember having a Radio Shack realistic mixer with just the up and down. No crossfader, nigga, no crossfader, just up and down. You know, so I started DJing basically in early 80s, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and then I started back in the 90s. And I started back because I had house parties in my house, and one of my homeboys, this was when I really got into DJing, because early on it was breakdancing. It was the trend. You wanted to be a breaker and you wanted to be a DJ. So you had the realistic mixer, some shitty turntables, and you would play some records and then you go do some beat boy shit. So I didn't really DJ then, so that don't count. But I would have these house parties at my mom's basement, and my homeboy that's still on radio in Atlanta right now, Emperor Cersei, he was the DJ of the neighborhood, and like, he was like the main DJ of all of the parties from in the high school and the middle school era of Atlanta, where we were from, Southwest Atlanta in those days. And one day he was DJing a party at my crib, and I was just amazed and mesmerized how he could control people's energy and emotions by records. And then after that party, I was like, yo, I want you to show me how to DJ. And so that's how I really got into wanting to be a DJ and learning how to DJ.
You eventually ended up working at So Def. What did you learn from working at a record label? And if you could tell, I'm sure a lot of the folks out here remember a lot of the records that So Def came out with out of Atlanta back in the 90s. What did you learn from that experience?
Well, I mean, working at So Def was a blessing because I got to see it. I got to learn the ins and outs of the music business. And that's something that you can't buy. It's something that you can't get every day. because when we had So Def, and then we worked with Columbia Records at the time. Columbia was the main label that put out So Def. So I worked with a lot of great people. Like back in the day, Taish Harris was like the motherfucker for working hip hop records. You know what I mean? It was a lot of big names at that time.
So were you working promotion?
I was street promotions and A&R at So Def. So, like I said, I got to learn basically the ins and outs of the record company, the record business, the music business. It was no other way I was gonna be able to gain this much knowledge, because I was basically talking to industry tastemakers every day, people that was making shit happen, and they would teach me a lot. You know, I would just sit back and watch and learn and listen, and we were. And then that was at the beginning of So Def, so I got to see how records, you know, grew, how records, you know, when you put a record out, how long it takes for the record to build, and the process, every aspect of it. I remember going to Jermaine's house and he played me Just Kicking It by Escape, which is their first single. Yeah, and I thought it was TLC. I was like, what the fuck is this, TLC shit? And he was like, no, this is my new group, Escape. So I was there from the very beginning, and I got to see, you know, how records grow, how they progress, and how they start, and it's every aspect. So it was definitely a major blessing for me to be able to go to So Def.
And in the urban environment, street DJs had a huge impact back then. You would get promos to them. How did that work?
Well, I was the guy that did all the dirty work. So
tell us about the dirty work.
I was notorious in the late 90s and early 2000s for leaking records. Like, I was the internet before the fucking internet was here. I was a hacker before the hackers was here. They used to cease and desist me all the fucking time. But the DJs loved me because I would send them a cassette of the new shit, or the vinyl of the new shit, or the CD of the new shit, and that's how I started to get a lot of recognition, and people was fucking with me because they saw that, you know, I was the guy that would be in the strip club, to the ghetto club, to the crossover club. You know, I would be everywhere in Atlanta. That was my thing. I've never in my career have been pigeonholed into one box. I've always been someone that can jump around and go everywhere. So that's what I was kind of known for, and that's, you know, those are the relationships I had with all kind of people.
And describe the Atlanta scene a little bit. I'm originally from Georgia, so I used to go back to Atlanta quite a bit after I'd moved up to New York. And the thing that tripped me out the most was a lot of those records actually got broken in Magic City.
Well, really, it's all of the strip clubs. Atlanta, to me, the strip club is the most important place to start a record, because you can go in a strip club, give the record to a DJ on Monday, and by Friday you'll know if it's a hit or not. If these motherfucking bitches is fighting over who can dance to that song by Friday, you got a fucking hit. You know, strippers are the best fucking A&Rs in the world. I swear to God, you better listen to the strippers. They're gonna tell you what the fucking hit is, because they gotta shake their ass, dance, and make money and hustle to that shit 7 days a week. So they're gonna tell you. And also the other reason the strip club is the best place to test your records out is because you have people from every kind of income bracket in the strip club. You have people from all over the USA and the world in the strip club. So it's a mini real world, basically. So you got guys going crazy in the strip club over your song, women going crazy, and that's a test of what's gonna possibly happen in the future.
Okay, how did you transition into the artistic side with the East Side Boys?
That came from working at So Def. Back in those days, we had an artist on So Def named Player Poncho. He had a song called What's Up, What's Up? That was like 95 or some shit. And the East Side Boys lived in his neighborhood. So they were like his homies that hung out with him all the time. And then, since I was his A&R, you know, we were like best friends. We were always together. So me, East Side Boys, Player Poncho, we were always together. We were in the club, and we would just, it would be like sometimes 10, 20 of us in the club when we went out. And I think one night we went out and we just started chanting, who you with? Who you with? Who you with? Get crunk, who you with? We just started chanting, and the whole fucking club said this shit. We were like, oh shit. I was like, we need to go in the studio and make a record of this shit, because I was an A&R vision. And so I called somebody I knew that had a record company, and me and my boy Paul Lewis, we produced the beat, and the rest is history. The first record I ever did as an artist was a hit record. That became the song of the summer, like '96. Freaknik, Atlanta. If any of y'all know about Freaknik, have ever heard of Freaknik? 1996, that was the song. Like, you could turn on the news and they'd show black people in the streets wilding the fuck out, and guess what motherfucking song was in the background? My shit. So, that was the start of it. Weird paradox. Right now, if you listen to any DJ Mustard track, you'll hear, hey, 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 hey. That's from fucking my first record, Who You With. Also, hey buddy, rolling like a big shot. That track is the exact copy of my track, Who You With. So do your history. You're learning some history today. So it's pretty crazy to me that the first song I ever recorded as an artist is still being sampled and used in hits today.
So how did you deal with that initial success? It must have been crazy for you. How old were you when you had a hit record?
I'm not fucking telling you, fuck you. But I was in my 20s, I guess.
On Wiki.
I mean, but I was a DJ, man. Like, I was used to being in the spotlight because in high school I had a lot of big parties. So I was, and I was a DJ. I was one of the hot DJs in Atlanta. So I've never been the guy with the big head. A lot of you know me for years, and you can honestly say I'm the same motherfucker today that I was 10, 15 years ago. I haven't really changed except I'm more tired. I'm tired as a motherfucker. I drink a lot more, but I'm the same motherfucker. Too Short is one person that I always give a lot of respect and love to because he got me out of a shitty ass, like, contract. You know how like Dr. Dre talk about how he was in that fucked up contract and shit? I was in a contract worse than that shit. And he paid, got me out of that fucking contract. He believed in me, gave me an opportunity to work in his studio and record records, and it was a blessing to meet someone like that because in the industry you don't hear about people looking out for people and not wanting anything in return. Like, because he ended up letting me out of the contract to do my own thing and didn't want anything. And I call it Too Short my uncle because of stuff like that. And I always give him, gave him records and shit. And one day he came to the studio, I was working on E40, and I gave him Blow the Whistle. I gave him that track, and he said that's his biggest track of his entire career. And I felt like I deserved to give him that for what he had done for me, giving me the opportunity to learn and so on and so forth.
Let's talk a little bit about the music at that time. Hip-hop obviously came out of New York. It blew up big in the West Coast in the early 90s. But then, thank you so much. There you go.
Nigga, this Coke. I'm not gonna be picky, but I don't really drink Coke.
You're from Atlanta and you don't drink Coke?
No, I only drink water and tea, and like I'm healthy now. Water, no Patron. That was the 2000s, motherfucker. Thank you. I juice a lot. I'm juicing.
All good.
Okay, so I know where you're going.
So the mid to late 90s was really kind of the time for Southern hip hop and the crunk sound, the Dirty South sound. Why do you think that broke out so big outside the South? Why did people feel that music?
Well, it was tough being a hip hop, a Southern artist in the late 90s because Southern rap wasn't respected. I remember going to New York and Outkast had put out their first album. They had an album release party, and New York was not showing them no fucking love. I just happened to be in New York.
They used to make fun of people from the South.
Yeah, and I guess when I really started to break out of just the South and the Midwest, I started to pay attention to like DJs, other DJs, and I knew like at this time Crooklyn Clan was killing it, you know what I mean? So I decided I was gonna put someone from New York, on one of my records when we did Bia Bia, and it would help me to get a little bit more love in New York and break New York by having someone that they knew and respected, on the record. That was Big Cap. Me and Big Cap did. I put him on Bia Bia. And it actually worked, you know, because, like I said, before that, nobody was fucking with the South. We was Bamas and all this shit. And it helped to break, you know, because it was one of their own on the record. And Bia Bia ended up being very big in New York City. And I think what happened was that Southern rap had a lot of energy. And when you went in the club, you saw motherfuckers mosh pitting and wilding the fuck out. It was like, oh shit. You couldn't deny the energy. I remember trying to, you know, get PDs to play my record, and they were like, no, we don't really. But the MD might be the DJ, and he's in the club, he's playing the record, and he's like, I'm telling you, just come see. I remember Too Short, telling Too Short when we did Could Be a Better Player, I was like, bro, you gotta come to the fucking club. 559 in Atlanta back in the day was the hoodest club in the ATL, and this is where all of the records broke from. I remember telling him, you gotta come see how they react to this fucking song in the club. And one day he finally came and he was blown away. After that, Short always listened to me because he knew I wouldn't shoot the shit. Whenever I tell him something, it was real. And I think that's what happened nationwide when people started to see how the records made people react, the energy, you know. That's why Crunk got so big. It was because of, it turned into a movement. It was a way of expressing yourself. If you had a hard week, you're having a hard life, whatever the fuck is going on, you can come, you can turn up and get crazy and wild out and just sweat and let all of that negativity out and just have a good time. So that's why I think the stuff got big, and that's why people couldn't deny it. It was because of the energy of the music.
And also, it hasn't gone away. I mean, it's like anybody who's playing trap records now, they sound like Dirty Sound hip-hop records to me.
True indeed.
So you still playing that?
Definitely playing a lot of trap. I actually, last night, if anybody heard my set last night, I played, like, I recently hit up my boy, one of 3-6 Mafia, DJ Paul, because I had an idea to tear the club up right now, because trap music is the same shit, like you said. And I also played a joint last night where my homeboy did, and it was What You Gonna Do, but 2014 with some of those elements. So yeah, it's pretty much the same energy, but just with different kind of sounds.
Talk a little bit about your approach to DJing now. Now you're playing really nice clubs, they're not house parties anymore. Generally, what's a typical set from Lil Jon? How long is it, and what kind of material are you doing?
I think I got the hardest motherfucking audience on the planet to please, because you got people that know Lil Jon from the 2000s. You got people that know Lil Jon from Turbulence and Welcome to the Jungle, bitch. And then you got everybody right now that knows the commercial success of Turn Down for What. So that's a lot of different people to try to please. Whereas if you're Tiesto or someone like that, they come in to hear just one thing, house music. You know, so it's a harder set for me, you know, than anybody else. So I just try to make everybody have a good time. I just try to play a little something for everybody. And, you know, as a real DJ, it's about feeling out the audience, feeling out the crowd. So sometimes I play a lot more house, sometimes I play a lot more hip hop. It just depends on the energy from the people that I get.
What are some of your favorite places to play?
Vegas, nigga, shit. Vegas is like the greatest place on earth to DJ because everybody's ready to wild the fuck out. You can play goddamn Could You Be Loved? You can play anything, nigga. You can play
rock music.
No, you can play, nigga, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Them niggas going nuts. They flipping tables and shit. Because it's fucking Vegas. They come to rage. I mean, as growing up as a kid in Atlanta, Georgia, you know, you think about Elvis being in Vegas, you think about the niggas with them tigers and shit, whatever their name is. You think about Circus Soleil motherfuckers, but you don't think about no dread-headed motherfucker from Southwest Atlanta playing Vegas. So it's a blessing for me to to be at the Win and the Encore for 3 years, going on 4 years now, and being one of their top DJs. So it's amazing, and like I said, that's the best place on earth to play is Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas has turned into the DJ capital of America in a big way, and it's helped the DJ industry in a big way.
I talked to a lot of EDM DJ, and I'm like, because at one point, a couple years ago, I had never been to Ibiza, and I'm like, you just think Ibiza is like the place to be. And one day I asked Tiesto and some other guy, I was like, what do you like better, Ibiza or Vegas? And they were like, immediately Vegas. That's why a lot of the guys are, I don't even think Tiesto's in Ibiza no more. I think he's like, fuck Ibiza, nigga, we in Vegas, nigga. But Vegas is, the energy, man, it's just crazy.
Let's talk a little bit about Turn Down for What. That's a song that just does not go away. It is everywhere to this day. Talk a little bit about the process of making that record.
Well, it took about 30 minutes. It's fucking really crazy to me. I only say 12 words. It's only 12 words in the entire fucking song. But it captures a moment of people's lives. It's the way people live. When you can capture a moment with people, that's something that they will not let go. So it was a blessing to be able to have a record like that, especially when a lot of people was like, Lil Jon, who the fuck, where he been? He's whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's one of the biggest records of the year. But the process was DJ Snake sent me a beat, like say May. I was on the road working, I didn't have no time to do it. So one day I was like, cool, I got some time, went in the studio, and I actually did it at my house, in a closet. Yeah, in a closet. So he sent me the beat, and I pulled it up, and he originally had a Redman sample, and it was like, it's the countdown, Bang the Underground. And I was like, when I listened to it, I'm like, can you send me the instrumental? Because this Redman thing is not really, the beat is dope, but that Redman sample don't, to me it didn't match the energy of the track. Because for me it's always about matching the energy. A good vocalist is supposed to take a track to another level. You start off with an incredible beat and then you put some incredible vocals on it and then you gotta smash. So he sent me the instrumental. He wanted me to redo the Redman sample, and I just didn't feel it. So the first thing came to my head, push record, push play, turn it down for what? That was the first thing that came to my head because the beat just had so much energy. Now the other part that don't nobody understand what the fuck I'm saying took the longest to write. Because you have to set up why you turn it down for what. So it was like, fire up that loud. Fire up the loud. For people that don't know, loud is marijuana. Yeah, okay. It's really good marijuana. So it's fire up the loud, another round of shots. Turn down for what? So for me, it's always a picture you have to paint when you're, some people just think I just go in and say random shit. That's bullshit. I write that shit. That's why people go crazy, because I write it a certain way and I put certain kind of energy on the track. But I had to set it up even though nobody knew what the fuck I was saying, but that's what took the longest. It really didn't take but like 30 minutes. And I sent it back to Snake and he was like, I don't know, man. Can you redo the Redman thing, please? I was like, motherfucker, this is a smash, nigga. Okay, for some of y'all that don't know, Snake is from France, so that nigga don't know nothing about no ghetto shit. I'm just saying, like, he don't know what the fuck turn down for what mean at this time, nigga. They ain't saying that shit in Paris. We, motherfucker. They ain't saying turn down for what. So he don't know. I'm like, trust me, nigga, this shit is crazy. And he listened, and the rest is history, but we did not know this shit was gonna be this fucking crazy. Like, last year at this time was when we first started. Well, we kind of leaked it to a lot of the homie DJs. So I think I DJed last year at Murmur Monday around this exact same time when I played it. And I remember a lot of DJs coming up later like, what the fuck is that? So some people heard it for the first time at this same time last year, so it was pretty amazing to be sitting here talking to y'all about, you know, the success of Lil Jon and all of this shit, and it was just last year when it started.
Yeah, it's a track that has a multiple appeal. I mean, EDM DJs are playing it, you know, the trap guys are playing it, pop DJs are playing it. Are you surprised that dance music has kind of taken over from hip-hop a little bit as like the party music in America right now?
No, because the problem with hip-hop is we got away from the tempo. If you look at 90s hip-hop, 80s hip-hop, it was 85 BPMs to 115. Rap niggas in the South is doing 50 BPM songs. Nigga, you can't party to that shit. 65 BPM, you cannot party to that. That shit is not gonna cross over to top 40 radio at 65 BPMs. They playing faster songs. So, that's why DJ Mustard is coming through and killing it, because he's bringing the tempo back. He's making people party. He's making the ladies shake their ass. You know, women, black women want to dance, nigga. They don't want to just, they want to dance. Latinas want to dance, nigga, like, for real. White girls just want to wiggle. Well, women in general, they want to dance, so it's about the tempo, man. Like, that's the problem with hip-hop, is you have to bring the tempo back in and make it party music again, because it turned into drug music. People were on pills and extra high, and that 50, 65 was great to chill to.
Drinking syrup, getting very slow.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit about just the idea that your persona is so large that it always seems to find an audience. Like everywhere you go, people just dig you. They just love your essence. Is it something you turn on, or is that something you roll out of bed doing?
Well, I mean, I'm just me. Like, I'm just me. I grew up in Southwest Atlanta. I found skate culture, and I think because I started skating, it opened my eyes, my ears, and everything to the real world, because I was skating with white kids, Asian kids, kids from all over the world, you know, from different backgrounds. And while we're skating, we listening to the Ramones, we listening to all kind of different forms of music. So it diversified my musical palette, and it diversified me as in general, where I could go and hang out with any kind of person and not feel uncomfortable. I'm just me, you know. I just like to have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody likes to have fun. Everybody wants to laugh. Everybody wants to be happy. So, I mean, that's what my essence is, you know. So, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
I think you answered the question. Now, obviously, you've gotten where you've gotten from getting your hustle on from an early age, and I interview these DJs for the magazine all the time, and they always come back to the same thing. It's like, don't sit around waiting for a handout. Go out and make your own breaks. You want to talk a little bit about that and advice to DJs in that respect?
Well, one thing I learned a long time ago was the number one key to success is networking, because you never know where someone's going to be one day, and you always treat everybody the same. You don't shit on nobody. And I think people looked out for me because they liked me as a person, because they saw, like you said, I was a hustler, and I was always everywhere. Like, some people, I was in New York, I think last week, and someone came up to me and they were like, I remember you at New Music Seminar in 1999, standing outside with a box of vinyl and a boombox, passing your vinyl out. And that shows, and they were just saying how much, you know, they were impressed, you know. They weren't surprised because they saw the determination, the drive, the hustle back then, but they were just, you know, impressed with the fact that I can still be doing that. Well, still be, you know, doing it in 2014. I mean, that was a long time ago. And, you know, yeah, it's about networking, being yourself to people, and like I said, not shitting on nobody, you know. Treat everybody the same, treat everybody with respect.
What about advice for DJs on how to maybe become an artist eventually? Is there a path that, I mean, the music industry and the record industry has changed so much since when you came up. The rules are kind of different.
I guess it's really just, what I always tell DJs is become the shit in your city first. You gotta start with your neighborhood, then that turns into your city, then that turns into your state, and then you start to spill into another state. That's basically what we did. When it was Lil Jon Eastside Boys. We started in one club in Atlanta. It spilled out of that club into all of the other clubs, the radio, and then, you know, the domino effect happened. So, I mean, if you want to be an artist, it's really, you gotta like do what I said, network, and become the shit in your city, you know, and just let it start from there. Just let it spread like the flu.
Start your own label, step to a label and get, I mean, like, where do they take their music now?
You can, I mean, it's a Beatport era. You get a, or iTunes, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you get a hot record, you can put it up. That's pretty simple, you know. It's an easier distribution process now than it was back in the day, because we had to have physical CDs, we had to have physical vinyl, cassettes. Now you don't need that. It's all digital. So if you get a hot record, you can put it up on iTunes. It's pretty easy.
Before we open it up for questions, I just want to ask John, what is your next big step? You were talking about something else you were doing with DJ Snake. Is that the next big thing?
No, the next big thing for me is TV, because I'm silly as fuck. When I did Apprentice, it kind of opened up my eyes to, well, I guess being on the show, and after the show, people coming up to me like grandmother, entire families really. Grandmama, son, daughter, little kids, saying how much they were rooting for me on the show and so on and so forth. It just showed that I have a television appeal. And then looking at Steve Harvey, like what he's did with Family Feud, and he's just being himself. And I feel like I'm similar in the fact that I'm a likable person, and I'm a people guy. So I want to get into the television. I want to do game shows also, and just other TV, not no reality, not loving shit pop. I'm sorry, but I hate those shows because I don't like the fact that they show black folks fighting all the time and looking crazy. That's a bad representation of the race. We are more intelligent than these shows sometimes portray us. So yeah, like I just want to do some other television, like I said, and some game shows, and just, you know, be me.
Loved your one About a Boy. Loved your guest appearance on About a Boy.
Oh, thank you, guy in the back. Thank you.
So we're going to open the floor for some questions, but there are a couple ground rules. One, if you step to the mic and ask a question, please ask a question and do not give us a speech. And hello, is that one working?
When we turn it off,
So, oh yeah, and if we have a question, if you could identify yourself and say where you're from. Anybody want to step to the mic and ask John a question? The microphone is here in the middle. Come on down.
My question is not really a question.
Your name, where are you from?
My name is Jared from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I wanted to see if I could get a quick picture for my Instagram with you.
Okay, I was just talking about this shit today.
There's some rules.
This shit is ridiculous now, y'all. It's okay to say hello first. It's okay to say, shake a motherfucker's hand.
You're right.
I mean, I get off the plane yesterday, I'm exhausted, I'm clearly exhausted. I've been traveling 8-10 hours, and all the motherfucker want to do is just say, can you take a picture with me? No, nigga, I'm tired. I'm about to make these fuck your Instagram t-shirts. Everybody needs one. So I'm like, fuck your Instagram. I remember back in the day when if an artist waved at you, you were the shit. You was like, oh my God, Big Daddy Kane said what up to me, nigga. And now it's, you gotta get a picture, and if we don't take a picture, I'm an asshole. So now you got a real question now, nigga?
Can you take that as a no?
Yeah, that's a no, because they got real questions, nigga.
Especially, I was gonna mention the Apprentice thing too. I think you were phenomenal, and kind of the way you went out was kind of bullshit, but
Oh, thank you. No, it's all love though, but fuck your Instagram right now. Cause we working, nigga. Hanging with my homie Lil Jon. Nigga, I don't even know you. It's funny cause niggas be tagging me and shit like I'm not gonna see the shit. You tagged me, dumbass. I don't know you. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
What's up?
What up?
Okay, my name's Evan.
Hi, Evan. How are you?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm great, Evan. Let's go.
Okay, my question was, where did you get your inspiration for your new song, Bend Over, which is awesome?
I think I would speak for all men that we do like to see women shake their ass. So, I mean, I was listening to the track, and when I'm doing music, sometimes you look at YouTube videos, and it's one funny part of the song where I say, hands on your knees, bounce that ass like a yoga ball. And the reason that's in there, this one video, this lady's ass was so big, it looked like a yoga ball bouncing. So I put that in there. But yeah, it's just for women to have a good time, women to dance to, you know.
Can I shake your hand?
Sure. See,
Thank you.
Our question.
Now that you said it.
y'all gonna have my hand hurt now. Shit. I'm just fucking.
You just need some Purell, dude. It's okay.
Damn, what you been doing, man? I want next time give me your left hand, motherfucker. Why your right arm bigger than your left?
Dude, you're supposed to talk about girls like that, not guys.
Our question. We got quite a line here.
My name is Josh. I'm from Hatfield, Pennsylvania. My question is how did you come up with your sound? And when I say it sounds stupid, when you say it sounds awesome.
What you mean, yeah?
Doesn't matter what. You want me to do the show thing?
I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know. My voice just developed over time. I don't know. But the sound, it just came from being in the studio. The way I make records is go in the studio. I might lay a drum track down and I just go through sounds. And like my signature sound that's on like Damn. I was just going through sounds and that sound came up and I just played a line with it and it was something that stuck. And so it's like nothing I try to do, it just happened.
Could I get a follow-up real quick? What did somebody say? No, that sounds stupid, or you just said no, that's it?
When you make music, you just feel it. You know it's spectacular. Like when we did, like say Turn Out, like I said, we were talking about Turn Out for What. Well, as soon as I laid that first part down, as soon as I laid Turn Out for What over the track, I was like, this is out of here. This is gone. Because it just felt amazing, you know. So yeah, you just know it, you know.
Cool, thank you.
Question.
What's up, man? My name's Mike. I'm from Pittsburgh. I just want to first say thank you for all the stuff that you're doing with the Lil Jon's DJ Army on Facebook. Not too many artists are like reaching out to us. I really appreciate that since it started. How do you feel the Chappelle Show thing helped you out? Like, I mean, that's really what. Like,
well, the one thing I will say about that is every time I see Dave, I thank him because he helped me to reach people that my music would never touch. And he made me basically a hip-hop icon by doing those sketches. You know, that was at the height of his success. That was one of his biggest sketches. It was Rick James and it was Lil Jon. Those were the biggest sketches. And I mean, I thank him because like I said, if it wasn't for him, I would not have been able to reach a lot of people like I reached through that sketch.
I got you. Thank you, man. And what's one thing that you turned down for?
Sleep and the police.
Lil Jon, Chris Holly from Queens, New York, DJ Spike. First, I want to say thank you for everything you've done for the music industry. I love your music. Ladies' Birthday is like a new joint that's been out for a little bit, but a lot of people aren't playing it. I'm playing it a lot for you, just to let you know that. I want to ask you this question. I know you do music and you DJ. What do you prefer out of the both?
I mean, it all is, honestly, DJing is the foundation. because even the way I construct my records is for DJs. I tend to say that I make records that DJs love to play. And that's because I'm a DJ myself, and that's my background. So but I do love to perform as well. Both are different, but I both love, they like the side chick. It's like I got two old ladies. One is DJing and one is, making music. So I love both equally.
Now, I'm competing tomorrow night in a DJ competition. I hope you come through. I want you to see my energy and see where I'm at, because I feel I'm kind of on your level. And I want to know if easy, hold on. It's not even like that. It's just that the energy I'm talking about. I bring the energy like you do, and I appreciate it because you are the kind of guy I look up to bring my energy to that level. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys, all right? I want to leave this with you, my information. I want to shake your hand. Just want to say thanks for being here.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Question.
How's it going, man? I'm Davey Jones from Boston, Mass. I started off as a drummer. I became a DJ through that. One of the most frustrating things as a DJ is when I get a creative idea and I'm trying to make music and I don't have the production skills. I don't know how to turn my thoughts into putting something down, like making drum beats or making a track that way. And you just seem to come up with stuff. You go into the studio and you know how to just do it. I'm trying to not just DJ other people's music. I'm trying to start actually taking my own ideas. How did you, before you learned how to use all the studio equipment and software, how did you get your ideas onto paper and turn them into reality?
I mean, it's just trial and error. Like when I started producing, that shit was terrible, honestly. But it's like, yeah, you stick with it and you eventually figure it out. The longer you stick with it, you'll figure out what's good, what's bad, how to lay the drum track down, what's your flavor, so on and so forth. And honestly, today as a DJ, you have to have your own production. You have to have your own bootlegs. That's the only way you're going to stand out in this crowd, because with technology, everybody has access to good shit. Like, I remember back in the day, you had to know the good record store to go to. You had to come to New York to go to the certain record store to get the bootlegs. You had to hit up BP to get the dance hall, the top dance hall tracks. But now everybody has access, so you gotta just stick with it and just keep making your own shit, and you'll eventually figure it out.
All right, thank you.